Hello, everybody, and welcome to Women in Power Academy. My name is Dakota Lima. I am going to be guiding you through this video today, and we're going to discuss activating the divine feminine and why it's important. So first, actually, I'm going to make my face a little bit smaller so that I'm not blocking any of the words as we talk. This way you guys can kind of follow along with what I'm saying and take notes if you would like to. Anyway, so activating the divine feminine in women is very essential for their own personal growth, but also for the collective growth, empowerment, and spiritual evolution of the women. Oh, excuse me, of women out there. Sorry, I had a crazy itch I had to get. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be discussing why it's important and why it's essential for our growth, for the empowerment of women, for our evolution, and everyone else and the collective. And so one of the main things about the divine feminine is being able to reclaim your authenticity. And what that means is pretty much breaking free from your conditionings. Um, Society kind of has expectations that are set upon us as women, as we're supposed to be a certain way, act a certain way, carry ourselves a certain way. And those different types of conditionings, whether they be cultural, environmental, societal, are what causes us to have our limiting beliefs, because ultimately the way we are conditioned is not in alignment usually with who we truly are. And so because your conditionings are not going to be in alignment with who you are, you're not really going to be able to show up as your authentic self. And so one of the things that activating the divine feminine does, it helps us to reconnect with our authentic self. And what that does is it allows us to be genuine with our emotions. It allows us to understand our true desires. And by doing that, we're able to really focus on what those limiting beliefs are that we actually have so that we can break them and change them. Also helps us understand what our conditionings are so that we can also break those and change those. So ultimately, activating your divine feminine is going to allow you to become your authentic self. Another thing about activating the divine feminine is balancing out your masculine and feminine energies, and the importance of that, because balancing out those energies is what's going to get you in alignment. And so masculine and feminine energies are in everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're female or male, and everybody knows this. We hear this all the time. But it's within us. And so you have to understand, though, when it is time to tap into that masculine versus when it's time to tap into the feminine. And the way we've been conditioned throughout the years is we've been living in our masculine for so long, and it's been dominating the world. And as we see, masculine energies are not the best as far as leaders go and such, because look at the state that the world is in. And so activating our divine feminine is going to help to balance that out, because understand, there's times for assertiveness, which would be your masculine, but then there's also times to just receive, and receiving is feminine. There's times to take action, and then there's times to be still. The action is the masculine, the stillness is the feminine. There's times for vulnerability, there's times to show strength. And understand this, because when I use this word strength, some women tend to, get offended. And it's not to say that strength is only masculine, because yes, strength is considered masculine trait, vulnerability is considered feminine, but there is strength in vulnerability, because it shows courage to show and be vulnerable, because that exposes you, that opens you up. But what that also does is it allows people to connect to you, to understand you, to tap into who you are versus who it is that you're trying to portray yourself to be. And so being able to know when it's time to be in your feminine versus being your masculine is very important. But first, you have to activate that feminine, which is going to help increase your creativity, increase your intuition, your compassion, your nurturing side, all of those things that make feminine energy so vital, especially nowadays. Another thing that activating the divine feminine does is it helps to cultivate emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is so important because ultimately emotional intelligence is about self-awareness. It's about understanding yourself, understanding how you are emotionally, excuse me, how your emotions are affected, your environment, or your environment, excuse me, let me say that, how your environment affects your emotions, also how your emotions affect your environment. And so what I mean by that is that, you know, for instance, let's say you're in a position of power, like you're a leader or you're a manager somewhere, or just your house, being running your household. um, when you're upset, do you make everyone else around you upset? Or when you're upset, you understand, okay, this is irritating me, but I'm not going to take this emotion and project that out onto the people around me. Also, when you walk into a room and everyone in there is all over the place, are you going to take on all of that as well? Or are you going to say, okay, they're not, you know, feeling as happy and alive as I am right now. So, you know, let me not let that bring me down. So you kind of understand and you're able to be aware of your emotions and your instincts and your expression and how all of that comes out, you know what I mean? And so activating the divine feminine is going to allow you to be more in touch with those emotions, because as we all know, masculine is not about emotions, feminine is about emotions. But understanding those emotions and regulating those emotions and knowing when and how to utilize the different types of emotions to your advantage. Another thing is healing and transformation. So activating the divine feminine facilitates profound healing, of course, and transformation. I mean, just think about it, because if we're talking about busting down limiting beliefs, right? We're talking about understanding your emotions and being aware of those, balancing out the masculine and feminine. Well, of course, you know, you're going to see um, emotional and mental changes, spiritual changes, physical changes. You're going to notice all of those things. And the reason being is because your body is going to be changing from the inside out. So understanding limiting beliefs is going to allow you to start to heal past traumas that you may have, different types of conditionings that you may have from the way that we grow up, you know, because a lot of times, a lot of those limiting beliefs stem from our childhood and from the things that we learned as children, the things that we took on to believe about ourselves as children, and that we hold those really deep, 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 deep inside. And so activating the divine feminine helps to promote this healing and transformation. It helps to um, initiate and start you to tap into those things that have been holding you back. So, our wisdom, divine feminine enhances our intuition and our wisdom. And it's pretty much what initiates it, not initiates, but it is very instinctual. Understanding the divine feminine is all about instinct. So, okay, let's take it back. For instance, if you think about when we were primates, you know, like living in the land before we had all of this technology and all of these things to do things for us, it was just us scavenging, right? And so as the women in our communities, we had to go out and scavenge for food. So you had to be able to discern what type of things are good or bad, you know, to bring back for your community. And understanding those instincts, like being able to trust and know and follow those instincts, especially out, the wilderness is very, very important and insightful. It gives you that guidance, that inner knowing, that inner clarity, that uh it's like, how can I explain it? It's like, when you have an inner knowing, like something that you just in your core, um, you may not even be able to explain, but you just have that know of something, that feeling inside, that gut. You need to learn to trust it. And so, by being in your masculine, what people don't realize is that actually you trick yourself and you don't trust your instincts as much because you're more action oriented. You're just acting, 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 right? Not really thinking and understanding and being insightful. And so, you know, being still allows you to really discern, make clear, decisive decisions. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're not taking action. It just means you take a step back for a second, you assess, and then you act. Now, that can be done instantly. It doesn't mean it has to be, I'm going to take a week and just not do anything. No. Um, stillness is established in many different ways, but ultimately, activating your divine feminine is going to increase your intuitive abilities and your inner wisdom. The other thing that the divine feminine fosters is cultivating and collaborating and connecting with people. And um, this is because the feminine energy is all about community and nurturing and connection. It's about, building and nurturing relationships. When you are showing up as who you truly are, in your power, and balanced, your energies are balanced, and you understand, how you affect the people around you and how the people around you affect you, then you can go into a community of women and uplift so many people, because then you are able to promote that same type of unity with others around you. So yes, developing your divine feminine is going to help you build better relationships, because you're going to be able to be that light, that positive change within the people around you. Shifting paradigms. So activating the divine feminine is crucial for shifting outdated paradigms. Um, creating more balance and harmony in the world. It embodies empathy, nurturing, that we can contribute to the transformation of our consciousness. Now, um, the reason why I bring this up, because it's very important to understand what we were just talking about, was the stillness. When you are able to be still. Now, one of the best ways to do that is meditation. That doesn't mean that is the only way to do that. There are so many different ways to do that, to be able to understand and tap into who you are. Um, I I teach on a whole bunch of different ways. I do a lot of tantric movements um, and stretching and stuff like that. And the reason why I say that, because for me, I had a lot of stored trauma in my hips and in my womb area. And with me being in the military before, I used to run, exercise, do all these things. And so I got out of the military and I was still exercising, but right away I stopped for a little bit, right? Because I'm like, hey, I don't want to run no more. No one's making me do it, so I'm not going to do it. But then I think I went a couple of months and my body didn't like the non-movement, so I started moving again. But I was so stiff and I could barely move, and I couldn't figure out why. And so, I started looking into different things about loosening up the hips. And at the same time of going through all of that, I was also in the process of going through my spiritual awakening. And so, as I'm tapping into these things, I came across, tantric movement and tantric stretching and yoga for releasing trauma. And I was like, trauma? I didn't even realize that it could be, and then I found out, yeah, trauma can be stored in the body. And then as I went through my schooling on Reiki and energy healing, then I learned even more and more about it. And now I'm in the process of Tai Chi and all these other things. So, but that's for another story. But yeah, so when you understand your energy centers and you understand yourself, um, like your whole world will shift. Your whole world will shift. And so being able to find that stillness, and there, like I said, there's so many different ways to do that, but being able to find that stillness, to activate your divine feminine, to tap into your true self, your authentic self, to balance out your energies, all of those things are going to promote your consciousness. It's going to elevate your consciousness. It's going to um, promote like love, peace, like empathy, nurturing, and like all of those things, that compassion that society needs right now, that we all need, right? So um, let's just remember that activating the divine feminine is definitely a personal journey. It's going to be different for everybody. There's no one right way to do anything. There's no one right way for anybody. Um, it's about being in community and having people hold space for you, holding space for other people, connection and empowerment. And um, if you need a place to be able to tap in and um, find that connection, let me know. Let me make myself big again, because I believe I'm done here. So yeah, again, so if you are interested in learning more about how to activate your divine feminine, you feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on my Facebook page or TikTok, Women in Power Academy. Join our community. We have free Facebook group that you can join, where I put information in there. We like weekly lives and stuff like that for inspiration and tips and strategies and things of that nature, just to help you to through your spiritual awakening, as well as activating the divine feminine within you. And so, peace, love, and light. And I wish you all the best. And thanks for watching.